Hi everyone, and welcome to a bit of a kind of special type of workout. So this one is climbing specific. So some of you may know I absolutely love climbing. I've been climbing for about a year and a bit, I think, but I have lost complete track of time. And I really love it. I love like the strength element to it, the problem solving element to it, the social side of it, everything. If you don't climb, definitely give it a go. Even if you're scared of heights, you can just kind of traverse along, which basically means go along the wall. Anyway, I don't want to make this video about me just talking about climbing. So what I've decided to do is I've decided to start to do some like short series of workouts which are climber specific. So the type of thing that we're kind of looking at is kind of balancing out those muscular imbalances and using Pilates exercises to kind of do that. Also looking at incorporating some stretches, because sometimes some climbs can be really difficult if you are lacking in flexibility. So looking at kind of passive and active stretches here as well. So we'll kind of talk a little bit more about that as this series goes on. What else do we have? Breathing. Yeah, so Pilates, the core foundation of it comes from the breathing. Yeah, so everything starts from that simple essence of the breath, and breathing is so important in climbing as well, not just for focus and kind of mental strength, but also kind of calming down those nerves and kind of in terms of fear when you get to the top of the wall or when you're on a really difficult problem. So I really think that the Pilates and climbing foundations are pretty similar. So things that you're going to need: don't really need a mat, but if you've got one, grab one, and also a TheraBand. So if you don't have one of these, grab like a long sock or a pair of tights maybe, but I would definitely recommend getting one of these, especially if you are a climber. Really good for our shoulder stretches. So once you have a clear space, grab yourself a drink of water and your TheraBand, and let's go. Alright, so we are going to start seated. I'm just going to quickly chuck my hair up because that will inevitably get in the way. Your seated position is kind of up to you. What I am going to do, because I've spent quite a bit of time on my feet today, I am going to just kind of start in a seated position like so. If it's not comfortable, you can place a pillow in between your feet and your sit bones, or you can sit a completely different way. You don't need your TheraBand right now. So what I want you to do, again, once you're set up in a comfortable position, take 3 nice deep breaths in. If we can, Pilates breathing, which just basically means lateral posterior breathing. So it means out to the side, lateral, and posterior to the back. So you want to very rarely breathe from our lower abdominal area. So taking those hands on the ribcage if we need to. If you've done this type of breathing before, just rest those hands down, and it's kind of like a balloon expanding. So as you breathe in through the nose, you take the ribcage out to the side. Really inflate the ribcage, keep the shoulders down though, and then as you breathe out through the mouth, knitting the ribcage together. So just breathing in. You can place one hand on your lower belly if you want to make sure that that is staying nice and still, and then you can place your hand on the ribcage to breathe in and breathe out. And again, just breathing in and breathing out. Continuing here and really just giving yourself permission to just focus on one simple element. So breathing in and breathing out. Nice and simple. 3 more. Once you feel like you've got the hang of where that hand positioning is, just rest those hands down. And continuing to breathe in and continuing to focus on what your objective may be for this session. It might be to figure out if you have any muscular imbalances. It might be to figure out some new stretches. It might be to introduce yourself into Pilates without doing a full Pilates class. So just breathing in and breathing out. Hopefully these exercises, you're going to do one more, but hopefully these exercises will also get rid of that excuse that you're too short, because hopefully these exercises will make you feel a little bit taller as well. So one more, breathing in and breathing out. Good, lovely. Continuing that nice gentle cycle of breathing, we're going to take the hands and interlace them around the back of the head, and we're just going to place it so that it supports the neck. Okay, now I'm going to move this arm just so you can see what the body's doing. Elbows are going to be pointing forward, not out to the side. So see if you can kind of have it so that it's pointing forward. Neck stays nice and long. The elbows are going to connect with the eyes. Wherever your eyes go, your elbows go, and vice versa. So what I'm going to do here is pull the belly button back, and we're just going to take a bit of a lengthen this way rather than pushing it down, and just keeping the sit bones down towards the heels. We're just going to allow ourselves to peel forward. Pilates, we really want to focus on scooping the abdominals rather than folding flat. So keep scooping, keep pulling the belly button away from the thighs and allowing the elbows to come down towards the knee. We're going to breathe in here, still into the back of the body. Breathing in. And breathing out, roll yourself all the way up. And again, there's no tension on the back of the neck. We're not pulling the neck down. So breathing in, chin in towards chest. And breathe out. Good, breath in here again. Remember that back space. Breathing in. Breathing out. So what we're doing here is, again, you're going to do one more just like that. All we're doing here is connecting one simple movement with the breath. Breathing in. And breathing out. Lovely. From there, keep those elbows exactly where they are. We're going to start to add in that extension. So if you can, again, elbows still connecting to the eyes. We're going to lift the eyes up towards the, I suppose, the corner of the room. Now I've got a beam here that I can look at. Make sure that the elbows don't drift out to the side, okay? Only lift as high as we feel comfortable with the shoulders. So again, this is all about lats and triceps. So sometimes the lats and the triceps are tight, which we tend to find that they could be kind of within climbing. Triceps, not so much, but definitely kind of lats. Those triceps do help with a little bit of push. But sometimes when they are tight, the back becomes tight. So we want to make sure we can loosen all of that off. Okay, it's nice to be strong, but we don't want them too tight. So reaching the chest up, make sure that the rib cage hasn't poked out, keep the abdominals engaged, and this is where we start to look at the center. So in Pilates, everything moves from the middle of the body. Yeah, so if you're strong in the center, your arms and your legs are strong. Keep the elbows closed in, looking up towards that kind of corner point, making sure that the head is still supported, the neck is still long, we haven't dropped back. We then breathe in here. We then breathe out, chin in towards chest, and allow your elbows to come down towards the thighs. We breathe in. And we breathe out. So I really had to check that position in there for the abdominals. You'll notice that I kind of rolled up and then left my rib cage out. We'll really avoid that. So try your best to pull it in. But basically don't copy me. Breathe it in. And breathing out. So if anybody's done any kind of Pilates or yoga before, this is basically like a seated version of cat and cow. So except without the movement of the pelvis. So breathing in and breathing out. Good, lovely. Just give me one more here. So breathing in and breathing out. Good, lovely. From there, let's come into that extension. So breathing in. Good. Open the elbows out to the side as we breathe in. And as we breathe out. Close them. Breathing in. And breathing out. Again, don't allow the rib cage to poke out and sit bones to go backwards. So breathing in. And breathing out. Good, lovely. Give me one more. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good, lovely, and bringing it back. My hair's probably wild now, but just let your feet relax. Let the blood get actually into your feet. And what I want you to do is find a position you are comfortable to be sitting in again. Again, if you want to stand for this exercise, you can. Okay, so I'm going to come off the feet. They're probably going to be a completely different colour. Yeah, they're bright pink. Right, so what I want you to do is take your TheraBand. And I'm going to face the back so you can see what we're doing here. So you're going to take that TheraBand in one hand. I've got it in my right hand. I take it up and over. Now, you want to make sure that that TheraBand is running directly in the middle of the back. This top hand is holding onto the ends, doesn't matter which end, but your fist is facing in towards your back. So the palm is touching kind of the base of the neck. we take the other hand, which is my left hand, and we slide it so that your palm is facing away from the back. And what I want you to do is crawl that hand up just a little bit further so the elbow isn't out to the side, but it's also not really high up so that it's touching both hands. So kind of somewhere in between. Yeah, I've kind of gone with kind of like sports bra height. So what I want you to do is make sure that you're in a position where your back can be straight. What we want to avoid is kind of this curled over position. Okay, so this is a tricep stretch, slightly more active, and also a bit of a rotator cuff. So what I'm going to get you to do is I'm going to get you to pull that bottom hand down, almost like you're trying to straighten it. Yeah, and what you'll notice is that this arm becomes a tricep stretch. Now, you can pull as much as you want, but be careful of that wrist. Yeah, so we're going to keep pulling down just to make sure that we can get that stretch. You might need to move it a little bit higher up to get a little bit more of a stretch, and then we're going to reverse it. So this becomes a tricep extension and then a rotator cuff stretch here. So we just continue to move through those two stretches. Okay, and again, if it's too much, make your band a little bit longer. Okay. Make your band a little bit longer, or use something which is slightly less resistant. So breathing in, don't have a bun in your hair when you do this. It creates static and also gets stuck. So breathing in and breathing out to change. One thing that's worth knowing here is that we really want to avoid kind of lifting away from that center line. We want to try and keep the spine as still as possible. You might need to move your head forward if it is becoming a problem. Breathing out. Good, one more time. Breathing in. And breathing out. Fabulous. Just letting the band go. Shaking out that arm and changing sides. So, throw the band over your shoulder, palm is facing in, touching the base of the neck. We are then taking the hand so the palm is facing away from the back, and we're going to start just by pulling that bottom hand down. So breathing in and then breathing out. Good, breathing in breathing in doesn't really matter if the arms don't straighten. It is, as long as it's obviously the same on both sides, we want to try our best to really iron out those muscular imbalances. Obviously, if it's not the same, we can identify that that is a muscular imbalance that we have, and we might want to focus on doing slightly more repetitions on that slightly weaker side, that slightly tighter side. You might want to focus on holding and breathing on this one side. We might also want to start to think about and figure out what might be causing that imbalance in our climbing. Breathing in one more time. Good, lovely. And resting it off, shaking it out. Now, what I want you to do before we do this next one, again, you can sit kind of however you feel comfortable. I'm going to move up from my knees. So, what I want you to do is take one hand around your back and then grab a hold of your wrist. Okay? So this is an active one for the hand that is on the wrist. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily just stay there. So what I want you to do is lengthen the arm, so almost like we're trying to squeeze the arm straight, and then we're going to drop the ear. So for example, it is my left hand that is kind of pulling down to straight, and what I want to do is take my head up and over to the opposite direction. And we should feel this kind of stretch, a little bit of a nervy tingle, well I do, in towards the neck and into the shoulder. And what we're doing here is we're just stretching through all those muscles in the neck, the scalenes, those lovely, lovely muscles that do get tight and cause a little bit of havoc for the shoulder. Good, breathing in and breathing out. Good, two more, breathing in, breathing out. Last one, breathing in and breathing out. Good, lovely, let's change sides. So, interlace, change, straighten the arm, and have a little active pull down. This could be done, if you don't want to pull the arm down, you could hold a weight. Like a weight plate, or a dumbbell, or something like that, or a kettlebell. Breathing in, and breathing out. Good, one more time. Breathing in and breathing out. Alright, lovely. Shake it out. Okay, so again, this one can be done seated, it can be done standing, okay? I'm going to do kind of midway. So, TheraBand, we're actually going to take it to its full length. If we can, we're going to take our hands slightly wider than our thighs, okay? So, from here, we're going to keep the shoulder blades sliding down the back, keep the shoulders away from the ears, no kind of active depression, it's a little bit too much force, but just try your best to encourage the shoulders away from the ears. We're going to breathe in, take the arms up towards the ceiling, keep the shoulders away from the ears. Position number 1. You then bring it back down. Nice. If you find that comfortable, we're going to do 3 more. So we're going to breathe in, take the arms up and over. And breathe out, bring it down. Now what I want you to do is try your best to avoid any rib displacement, any spinal movements. Good, lovely. Breathing in. And breathing out. One last time. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good, lovely. From there, we're going to start to take it a little bit further over. So breathing in, take the arm up and over. Keep the rib cage closed. Gentle pull if you need to. We're going to take those arms slightly further back. So breathing in, hold the abdominals down. And then breathing out. Can I just comment on the Irish jig music? I do apologise. I like it, but I have no idea what it is. Alright, so breathing in, taking the arms up and over. Keep the rib cage heavy. Gentle pull if you need to. If not, just be actively pressing the arms back. And then down. Good, one more, breathing in. Good, from there, gentle pull, take those hands a little bit wider, squeeze them back. Now we're coming into our full shoulder rotations, but for now, just set yourself up so that you're going slightly further back. So shoulder blades have squeezed together, the hands are pulling apart, we're taking a nice deep breath in, and we're breathing out. Now if you need to, take those hands wider, if you can, take them narrower. Okay, so breathing in. Pull them apart, roll those hands, going up and over. Yeah, it did escalate quite quickly. But what I want us to really focus on as we do that dislocate, and it's a horrible name, so we'll call it shoulder rotation. What I want you to think about is that one arm doesn't go and then the other one. Yeah, wherever you're getting to, just make sure that it is even. So breathing in, roll, breathing out. This is the goal, to get all the way down here. The goal is then to come all the way back. Yeah. You'll feel this, you're going to do 4 more of whatever variation you're doing. You're going to feel this in your biceps, you're going to, biceps, that's your forearm. Forearm in your biceps, you're also going to feel this in the shoulder, you're going to feel it across the chest. It is a full mobilizer. Okay, so breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, and breathing out. Good, lovely. And I definitely recommend this being an exercise that you do before you start climbing. But make sure you've obviously prepped for this exercise as well if it feels too challenging. One more time, breathing in. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good, lovely. Okay, so I want you to come down into a seated position. 2 exercises that you'll find in a Pilates class. One which is all about hamstring length, and one which is all about abdominal stability. So I want you to take your legs so that they are mat distance apart. This is also stretching those inside thighs as well. So reaching your arms forward so that they are in line with your legs. Sitting up nice and tall. You're going to tuck your chin in towards your chest. Make sure that your feet are flexed, heels are rooted down into the floor. This is spine stretch, so exactly what it says in the tin. So we're not thinking about reaching forward and forward folding. We are thinking about drawing the belly button back, reaching your arms forward and diving your head down towards the floor, looking all the way in towards your belly button. We're then going to imagine that the ceiling is staying there. And again, you don't have to be really far down. Your spine stretch could be here. Wherever your ceiling is on your back of your head, you're going to roll yourself back. Now, if you've done roll-ups before, obviously traditionally be done from the floor, I want you to take your arms a little bit higher. This is going to test our abdominal stability as we roll ourselves down. Breathing in, bring the arms up. Breathing out, peel ourselves all the way up, sitting up tall, and then peeling forward. So we've got an articulation of the spine, we've got a hamstring stretch, and we've got abdominal work. So breathing in, again if you would like to, reach those arms up, roll yourself down, breathing in, breathing out. Reaching forward, sitting up tall, and then rolling forward. One last time. Bringing it down. Reach those arms up if you want to. I better reach them up there. Chin in towards chest. Reaching it forward. Am I going to make it? Ooh, that was close. And then sitting up tall. Okay, so let's look at some hip work. So we tend to find in climbing, I've seen certainly quite a few examples of this, we tend to find high foot being a problem. Now this is because of glute strength on the supporting leg and also hip mobility on the leg that you're trying to lift. Okay, so what I want us to do is bring ourselves into a seated figure of four. So you might want to come down into the elbows for this, but what we are working towards is bringing your foot across, pressing your knee wide and sitting your bum all the way in, supporting by fingertips or flats of the hands. So what we're aiming for here is a gentle kind of roll out to the side. Yeah, so we're trying to avoid having that knee all the way up towards the chest. So we really want to try our best to push that knee back. Now we want to make sure the foot is supported, and this is not a static position. We want to make sure that the spine is lengthened. We're going to allow the hips to twist, but not the waist. So don't allow your waist to come with you. Keep both shoulders square to the front, and then we come back up. I'm going to do 4 more. Breathing in. 2. And 1. Alright, we're now going to allow the hips to twist, and we're going to allow ourselves to come back. So this is a type of position that we might find ourselves in terms of range, in terms of a high foot. Now, the thing that we tend to struggle with when it comes to footwork is, I see, and again this is not everybody, and I know that personally I've struggled with this as well, is standing up on that leg. So once that foot is really high, standing up on that leg is a bit of a nightmare. So this exercise is going to help. So we're going to bring ourselves back into our seated figure of 4. We're going to roll ourselves over, plant our foot down, reach your arms forward. Okay, so it's going to get to a point where you're not going to use those arms, you're just going to have them crossed or whatever, okay, hoping that you can get up to standing. So you're going to reach yourself, and you're going to reach yourself forward so you can get onto that foot. I'm trying to demonstrate as I go, and then you're going to stand yourself up. Yeah, finding your balance, you're going to bring yourself into a wide parallel position, yeah, and then we're going to reverse it. Okay, so I'm just showing you the full variation, I'm going to show you modifications. So we come round, transfer the weight, bring yourself down, knee comes under, right into that seated figure of 4, and we're back. Okay, modifications. You come down, bring your hands, and then allow yourself to push yourself up. Yeah, bring yourself around. Okay, so that's one modification. Second modification is not coming to standing at all. So you just reach your hands, and then back down. Okay. The third variation is when we're coming back down. When you twist, keep your chest lifted as much as possible, and then reach your hands forward as a counterweight to bring yourself back. Okay, good. Let's do 2 more. Gonna reach up. Obviously, you can go as slow as you want to. And then 1 more. Feel it in the glute. I realise quite a lot of standing up is on the quad. Okay, we're back here. Just sorting ourselves out. If we can, take the hand where the foot is crossed, and we're going to lengthen that underneath leg. This is all about balance, and being able to balance our midsection whilst moving everything else, which is pretty much what climbing is. So, reaching that arm forward or wherever we need to balance, we're then going to bring it down, keep a hold, bring it up. Things we want to avoid. Let's take the whole body with us. Switch on the middle of the body, and we've got 8 lifts. 2, 3, this can be the elbow if it's available to you. Oh, I'm gonna roll! See, as soon as I change position, that's what happened. Good. 6, 7, and 8. Alright, okay, so keep that hand where it is. You're going to take the other hand out to the side. Sweep your leg on the floor all the way to what I call in dance the 4th position. Basically a modified pigeon. Make sure the hip is down. Still looking at hip flexibility. We're then going to bring ourselves forward. We're going to sweep that leg again to straight, or as straight as you can. Rock the weight onto that hand out to the side to give yourself a little bit of balance to be here. We're going to do exactly the same thing. Drop the leg, reach the hand down, sweep it around, place that knee on the floor, and stretch. Bring it back, reverse it. Yeah? Alright. We're going to keep going. This time you're going to see if you can not put your hand on the floor. Yeah. This is all about body weight. Now obviously we will go a little bit slower, and I'm starting to come off of the mat. We could go a little bit slower, and it's just about getting your body in the right position to help you be able to balance. One more time. Good. Fabulous. Alright, this next time you can keep the leg on the floor, but we are going to sweep ourselves down so that we do come down onto our side. So what I want us to do is just bring that leg straight down. Underneath arm is resting down onto the elbow. Now, making sure that I've got, yes, we've got single leg work. So elbow is down on the floor. We want to really think about lifting that underneath side of the rib cage. So keeping ourselves nice and long. When we lift that leg, we want to really avoid lifting from the waist, because this kind of thing will happen. Try and lift from the hip. Again, ultimate hip health. Yeah, so lifting that leg and down. Okay, now if you want to make this a little bit more challenging, I suppose you could hover that underneath leg. It's quite a lot of work. And again, it's kind of up to you and where you're at. So what I'm going to do is do that slightly kinder variation. So just breathing in to lift. Good, and again, keeping that underneath side lifted, drawing the belly button in, shoulder away from the ear. Now normally in Pilates you would find this exercise was down the elbow like so, or lengthened out, but classically it was down the elbow. Good, lovely. Feeling the glute work, we're going to lift and hold. We're going to do small circles. If you find that you're wobbling all over, bend that underneath leg. Feel the burn in the hip joint. Let's reverse it. Give me 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fabulous, lovely. From there, what I want you to do is lengthen yourself out, all the way down. Okay, so if you need a pillow or a prop for your head, please use that now. And what I want you to do is bring your top leg forward, your bottom leg back. We're going to open the arm out to the side and roll yourself back. We're then going to roll ourselves forward. Be careful as you come forward, because you are going to roll over onto your neck. So if you need to, we can move that arm. And it's quite a nice little coordination move. Gets us set up for kind of obviously our body moving more than one thing at a time. And then we're going to lift yourself up. Bring it out. Like I say, if you're comfortable with that being there, just leave it there. But if you want to, open it out. So we have breathing in. And then breathing out. One more time. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good, lovely. Bring yourself all the way back to the middle. And what I want us to do is do all of that on the other side. So that means everything from our seated figure of 4 stretch. So crossing that over, pressing that knee wide. And it feels nice now that we've done that work. When we're ready, we're going to just allow the knees to drift, but not the hips. Like that. Not the shoulders. So breathing in and breathing out. Again, if it makes more sense to breathe out as you twist, then do that. Good, now I'll start to allow the hips to move. If you want to, get yourself ready straight away for our 5 repetitions of coming up to standing. If we need to, take your time to figure out your variation. Twist, and then come back. And again, remember those variations, use your hands, don't come all the way up. I really like this one. It feels like a little bit of a dance sequence. So some of you might not like it, but I love it. Good, last one. Breathing in. And breathing out. Alright. Hand to the foot. Lengthen that leg. Breathing in. And out. Breathing in. And out. 4 more. I'm determined not to fall on this side. 2, 1. Right, place that hand down. Sweep yourself around. And again, take a little rock here. Place that hand back. Sweep it round. This feels much stranger on this side. And then sweep it round. Oh, that's why. Place your foot down first. Sweep yourself back. Good, nice. And again, without the hand, make sure we're not drifting off the mat. Without that hand, and again, keep that leg on the floor if we need to. One more time. Last time. This time, bring your knee in. Side lion. Underneath leg bent if you need to. Elbows in line with the hip, just like that other side. If we can, remember, scoop that underneath side of the waist up. Alright, from there, let's take some single leg lifts. We've got 10 of this variation. Remember, keep your waist long. Breathing in and out to lift. So we want to avoid when we lift to drop down. It means that we're just stabilising through the middle of the body. You can place your supporting hand wherever it may feel comfortable. And again, we've got 10 here. Keep the shoulders away from the ears. Keep breathing. Keep that centre nice and engaged. Your powerhouse strong. Good. Let's do 2 more here. Good, lovely. Hold. Let's do 8 circles going back. And again, if you start to realise that your balance is not your strong point in this exercise, then just bend that leg. If we can, try and work on stabilising. Let's return and reverse the circle into the opposite direction. Good, lovely. Ooh, I can feel that burn on the hip. Good. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good. Give me 2 more. Last one. Fabulous. Ooh, right, okay, so there's quite a lot of shoulder and hip work done. Okay, what I want us to now look at, let me just make sure I've got this right, is extension of the upper body. So we have our swan dive, we have a swimming, and a bit of a funny climbing one to finish with. Okay, so what I want you to do is bring yourself down onto the floor. You're going to set those hands directly next to the shoulders. Elbows are high, but not too high that the shoulders are by the ears. What I basically mean is that the elbows aren't on the floor. We are going to aim for them to be on the floor, but only by extension of the back, moving. So draw the abdominals up and away. Shoulders are away from the ears, so just really allow the shoulder blades to kind of lengthen down. And you'll notice already that if your shoulders are up towards your ears, your elbows are higher and your elbows are up to the side. So really try your best. Pull the elbows down, engage the lats to do so. Forehead is resting down, abdominals drawn up. Keep your hip bones down on the floor, your legs are relaxed. Breathing in to lift your chest and your head away from the floor. Small extension of the spine. Glutes might engage, but it's not the thing that gets you up. So breathing in to lift and breathing out to come down. Things you want to avoid. Pressing the hands into the floor. We want to also avoid straightening the arms. We also want to avoid letting the back go. So we're peeling the spine off the floor like a sticker. So breathing in. And then breathing out. Good, 3 more, breathing in. Now if you're comfortable with this exercise, at the top we can go a little bit higher before we breathe out. You can do a breath in and out to go up, kind of, I suppose, like 80% to where you are comfortable. hold it on that exhale. We then breathe in so it's a little bit higher, breathing in. And then breathing out. One more time, breathing in. 80%. Hold. Breathing in. And breathing out. Fabulous, good. Reaching those arms forward. Swimming. Ultimate coordination exercise. Ultimate stability of the whole of the body pretty much. So we're going to look at doing the arms second. So let's just reach those arms forward and keep them there. Pulling the abdominals, especially the lower abdominals, away from the floor. And lengthening the legs so that the knees and the thighs lift away from the floor just by extension of squeezing the glutes. So head is going to just rest down and we're going to swim the legs. Hip bones stay strong, and all of this is coming from stabilizing muscles, glutes and hamstrings. Breathing in and breathing out. And obviously hip flexors being loose. Yeah, so breathing out. Good, breathing in. And breathing out. One more time. Breathing in. And breathing out. Good, lovely. From there, just rest the legs down. Now I'm going to look at the arms, slightly more challenging. For this one, you are going to hover the head away from the floor, reach those arms forward, ever so slightly, and we're going to swim. Now you'll notice, if you rock, just means that the movement is slightly too big, and it also means that we're not engaging the muscles that are appropriate to keep that center nice and still. So just breathing in, and breathing out. Now, if you're comfortable with this, what I want you to do is hover the legs and swim the legs at the same time. And it's almost slightly easier because the legs are away from the floor, but also it's harder to coordinate. So breathing in and breathing out. Good. 2 more breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. The last one. Breathing in and breathing out. Rest it down. Alright, final one. I want you to take your legs nice and wide for me, so probably as wide as your mat. And you're going to turn your legs out ever so slightly. So your hands are just going to come somewhere on the floor, making sure the shoulders are by the ears. Your elbows can also be down to make it a little bit easier. We're going to lift one leg away from the floor, because dragging it is going to hurt. And we're going to just see if we can externally rotate that leg and have a pull in. Now what I want us to avoid is moving the spine so drastically that initiates the hip lift. I want you to try and get your hip lift first, and then when you can't go any further, allow your spine to lengthen. Okay? So, we have a little lift, externally rotate, use glutes, waist, and then when we can, a little movement of the spine. So it kind of feels a little bit like a spider, but hopefully it might kind of give us an imagery of climbing a wall. Yeah, so we're going to lift, turn it out, keep the knee away from the floor, and then bring it down. And you're looking towards your knee, there's a reason for that. And now I'm going to add the opposite arm in. So we're going to reach, at the same time, when you straighten that arm, you're going to bend the leg. We're then going to lift the hand and the foot away, bring it back in. Breathing in and breathing out. Good, breathing in and out. If we can, hover all limbs, breathing in. Place the hand down because I don't think it's going to be possible to without a huge shift. Yeah, hand down. Maybe that was just a little bit overzealous. So breathing in. Good. And you'll notice that I'm lifting the leg and then rotating. Breathing in. Last time, breathing in. Good, lovely. And just bringing yourself up to a seated position if you want to, round your back in a bit of a child's pose. So that last exercise, we are actually looking to doing that in a plank position, but it's always good to kind of figure it out from the floor up. So that is kind of it. Yeah, so we've done 9 series of exercises, and hopefully we feel like it's been kind of quite full body. There are a few things in terms of extension that I want to kind of keep looking at, but like I said, this is going to be a continuous series. There are going to be mixed abilities. I realise that some of us are kind of at the beginning of our climbing journey, and there are those people who are like kind of not at the end, but they've been climbing for years. They understand kind of the moves their body can do and how to kind of train for it and stuff. So these videos are basically just kind of using my understanding of the body and Pilates as a rehabilitative measure for injury, but also as how it can aid in other sports. And I've noticed that kind of definitely teaching Pilates a lot more and doing Pilates a lot more during this lockdown process when I haven't been climbing has definitely been kind of helping me be quite precise and focused with like my hand placement, my footwork, knowing where my body needs to be, and I definitely feel kind of a lot more stable in the middle of my body. So maybe it's something that you can take away from it as well. If not, if you can find something else, then that's awesome. So yeah, we're all done. And if there is any questions that you have, any variations that you found like you came up with, any things that you struggled with, then do kind of let me know. I'm going to kind of make this more of a series of videos rather than just a one-off thing. So if there's anything that you need to work on, you know, in terms of wrist flexibility, forearm flexibility, that type of stuff, then do let me know. Alright, okay, well, I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, evening, whenever it is that you're doing this workout. So thanks very much for joining, and I'll see you again soon.